Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Success Limelight. Here with me is the phenomenal Jay Collins. I sure hope you're as excited as I am because at the age of 21, this young man, he just continues to amaze the world. So let's get right on to the show and meet Jay Collins. Hello, Jay Collins.
Hi, yes, you're right.
All right. So can you tell us about yourself? Can you introduce yourself to the audience of Success Limelight?
So, my name is Jay Collins. I'm 21 years old and I'm from the northeast of England, originally from Cork Island.
What's that Clock Island like? I'm just hearing that.
Cork Island, it's the southern part of Ireland. It's where my mother's side's from.
Okay. Okay. Wow, that's cool. I like the name Clock Island. I'll take note of that. Okay, we'll get back to England much more later in the show because we need to learn about England. That's part of what we do on this show. As we travel to different countries, interviewing people, they also share, some insights that might interest tourists who will, wants to visit in future. Okay, right down to business. Jay Collins, I'm aware that you have a YouTube channel, Jay Collins Live or JayCLife, and there are tons of videos there at 21. How can, how are you able to get so much videos up? I know one of your passion is video and video making and photography. So can you
Yeah.
tell us the journey of that channel and yeah, the story, the impact so far?
So, when me and my friends in school were about 11 and 12 years old, we had a gaming channel which the 12 of us would constantly play games with each other and upload them to the channel. And as the years sort of progressed and stuff, a few of the individual ones set out smaller channels for themselves, branch away from the gaming channel and stuff. So I thought I'd do something similar, just to sort of either vlog my life a bit or upload funny videos I made with them that weren't games. And so the idea of Jay Collins's life shown down to JayCLife came about. So that's how the channel and why the channel is called JayCLife. But with that, it sort of just was some music I used to make that went on the main channel. And it went on to just being family videos and stuff we filmed, so it was easy to watch on the TV. We've got loads of family that live in Tenerife, Qatar, they're all over. So as I progressed in that, it became more going out filming weddings, filming car commercials, editing professional videos for professional companies, as well as getting all my family videos, which we still make to this day, and then make little nice montages so that my family and friends all over the world can still see and be a part of the family, and it's something nice for us to look back at, and that's how I've managed to produce so many videos over the years.
Oh, that's awesome. For the record, you said you started off with your friends. The idea you kickstarted with your friends. You guys were about what age range?
Well, about 10, 11, 12 years old.
Oh, 10, 11. Awesome. So while some of us were just playing around the neighborhood, you had friends who were building a YouTube channel. That's just great. Okay. So some of the things that caught my attention about you, your story is you were an auxiliary nurse, and
Yeah.
that seems to be your major career path, your profession. Now,
Yeah.
we know that everything in the medical field, where the medical field was the first line of responders, in the course of the pandemic, the COVID-19. So, how were you impacted by it? How was the experience?
It was a quite surreal experience. Like, we are used to dealing with infections and viruses and stuff and all sorts of diseases in the hospital. But when this kick started, a lot of people panicked. There's been loads who've taken early retirement and stuff, and have been on sick leave. And and stuff. It really impacted a lot of us because as much as we were prepared, we weren't ready for the scale of everything that came up. I was affected because I work in ophthalmology, so that's everything to do with the eyes. So that's cataract treatments, macular injections, glaucoma tests. And for us, we weren't deemed essential enough by the trust to continue. So our outpatient clinics and theatres and wards all closed. We're kept open for emergency patients, but they were very few and far between. Um, and a few of us then had to get sent over to other wards in the COVID areas just to help out with sort of the numbers of patients we were getting, and with staff going off testing positive, with staff shielding, with people isolating themselves. We really were running out of staff, and so we were then the ones that got sent over. So it was a terrifying experience to sort of endure that. We took our turns every few weeks. We'd shuffle and would come back to what was known as like the safe zone almost, but it was ophthalmology, my department, which was the highest risk for catching the virus because of course working with eyes, you're never 2 meters away, you're always right close to the person, checking their eyes, putting into oxygen. So we were at the most risk, and with barely any PPE or not enough or not the right kind, it was worrying for them all. As as the pandemic has grown and time's moved on, a few of us have sort of came numb to it all. I know I'm quite, I follow the guidelines and wear the face masks and put the gloves on and stuff, but I'm not as anxious anymore of a staff member than some of the others are. I'm very lenient with the patients. I'm very helpful. A lot of our patients are very elderly. They've got COPD. They've been forced to wear the masks when even they have like the exemption cards from wearing them. So if at all I get them in a room with just me and them, I'll put all my gear on and I'll let them take the mask off just for them to be a little bit more comfortable while I'm doing my tests. And then as soon as I move them on, I'll ask them to put the mask on, and they're more cooperative that way. So I think it's developed how I've managed to treat people, especially because when it kicked off as well, and all of them were scared, and all of them wanted to do their own thing, and they weren't listening to the rules that we had to do as a hospital and as a trust.
Wow. While you spoke, I could hear the passion, how involving this experience is and was for you. Well done, Guy. You guys are heroes. You're out there while the rest of us were locked inside. And so thank you so much for your service. Every medical personnel across the world in 2020, you guys are heroes. We appreciate you. Okay, I also know that you have interest in paramedics, to further your, your profession and all of that. So can you tell us generally why the interest in medical services? Why did you make that choice?
When I was 6 years old, my nan got diagnosed with lung cancer from smoking. And so she became very ill, and it ended up for the next 6 years of my life, me and my dad going in and out of hospital, in and out of care homes, in and out of her house to sort of care for her and look after her. So I've always, at a very young age, been very caring, and it sort of became like it wasn't me nan, it was more of a patient. So when she sadly died when I was 14, and I then decided I definitely want to be in a healthcare profession. Originally, I wanted to be a paramedic because them were the people who I was seeing all the time in and out of my nan's house or in and out of the care homes. I tried going for a paramedic's role, but I didn't get it because I didn't have experience. So that's how I then managed to get on the course as an auxiliary nurse, working as an ophthalmology in the ophthalmology department. But now that I've got that experience and I've got that knowledge and now the skill set of being in that environment, and there's a few opportunities that have came up that in the next 6 months I can progress into a paramedic type role. So that's now my goal, to develop myself personally and professionally.
Wow, that's so sorry for the loss of your mom, and Actually, we are also grateful for how that inspired you to do what you're now doing. So, well done, guy. Well done, guy. I really, I think I'm really enjoying myself. Interviewing you. You just come up with, you just come up with this. You come up with these stories that I'm so sure our viewers are going to really be mind blown by Jay Collins. All right, I'll say that's a great inspiration right there. Now, can you take us on a journey? Can you be vulnerable to us at this point? Share with us maybe a scenario where you were in a difficult condition, you were in a very tough place, and maybe mentally, psychologically, whatever it was, and how you were able to pull through, to encourage someone out there.
When I was in secondary school, it was quite hard. Me being as sort of creative and outgoing as I am, I didn't fit with that stereotype of being, the football lad. So I got bullied like quite a bit. Then it came to a lot of issues in school where I needed therapy and teachers' help and medicine to help with sleep at night. So I was really struggling. I was in a really dark place within myself. So when I left school and I had these help with counselling services, therapy, medication, I turned to photography to sort of portray that and give a visual representation of what I was going through or what I was like struggling with, which then really helped boost a lot of my confidence in that, because I used it then for college work, in further studies and stuff, and then I've been able to portray it in the hospital. They've got the artwork all hung up for mental health awareness and stuff, so it's great having such an achievement where something I did just to help myself is now broadcast sort of all over the hospital walls, which is great. And it was just a constant journey and struggle of what can I do to better myself here? What can I do to acknowledge this is wrong, this is how it's going to help? The therapy, the counseling, the medication helped stabilize us, but it was all sort of within me, the fight of realizing what's wrong, realizing why it's wrong, getting myself out of that situation by leaving the secondary school, going to a completely different college to everyone, and the journey to sort of accept myself.
Wow. So, okay, you had photography became like an escape from those tough experiences. So, okay, in one or two sentences, can you say something to someone who probably is going through that experience which you've just narrated, and or you mentioned bullying. Bullying is something that is coming up quite a lot in recent times, and I think it's something we should begin to give more attention to, and all of that. So can you just say in two sentences, can you encourage someone out there, based on your experience, anything?
The best thing to do is to reach out to anyone just to talk to them about what you're going through, even if they can't help or even if you don't want advice from them, just to tell them what's going on, and accepting it in yourself is the first step. By telling someone that there's something wrong is accepting it within yourself, and that helps the most.
Okay, awesome. So moving on to other aspect of your story, you were also a boxer. Now, how beautiful can that get? The nurse who, before now, I was wondering, like, you have to be so gentle with people as an auxiliary nurse, and yet you have this hobby, you have this whatever, this other side of you where you need to really punch people real hard, man. So tell us your experience in boxing. the story, the journey so far?
It was my friend group who, when I was watching boxing and quite enjoying it, I used the gym as a sort of medication after I came off the drugs to help us as a way to feel better on myself, and it really helps fitness wise with your mental health. And I needed a sport that I could stick to and I enjoyed to benefit what I was doing in the gym. So I started watching some boxing videos, the Tyson Fury fights, the AJ fights, the JJ and Logan fight. I really enjoyed it. So I spoke to some of the lads who I made friends with in college. And because I was skinny and I was, still like quite, outgoing and stuff, they were listening to me. They were saying, Jay, you're weak, you're puny, you're pathetic, you'll never do something like that. I imagine you doing something like that. So out of anger, I signed myself up for my first professional white-collar boxing event to take place at the end of the next year. And then I started training for it in January. And since then, it's become such good therapy that if I ever do need anything, emotional to get out, I can just go to boxing. My personal trainer will put us through a really tough routine, and I'll feel really better with all the endorphins that I get from achieving, the end goal of that workout. Or if I get in the ring with someone and spar with them, it's really good to let out the anger through the sort of torture of putting yourself through the training of boxing. Not just giving a few good punches to someone, but to also sort of put yourself mentally through that pain. It's such a good experience, and I'm really looking forward to the boxing fight when it comes next year, because of course COVID pushing everything back.
Well, I would just say I wish you the best in that endeavor. Fighters. One interesting thing about fighting as a sport is fighters, entertainers. The entertainers, but then a lot of people who enjoy seeing a fight would never wish to be in the fight, would never wish to be in the ring. Like this. That's one sport where, unlike let's say soccer, football and basketball is something even a fan will want to try out. But then when it comes to punches, man, I'll take a bow. Personally, I'll take a bow. But I know there are a lot of boxers out there. This is not meant to undermine the sport in any way. It's a noble sport. I respect it. It's awesome. It's great. All right. Okay. Moving on. From there, we are gradually winding down this episode. Okay, let's hear. I said I was going to come back to England as a place. So before we get to wrap things up, England is it's popular. Even someone who hasn't been there has been exposed one way or another. The United Kingdom generally is a very well known place. So a lot of what anyone would want to say is probably known, but then there are still certain things that one who is based there, like yourself, especially the part of England where you're based, which is East England. Now, I've never been to England before, so I really don't know the distinction from place to place and all of that. So if I were to come to England, let's say next year, let's say in 5 years, in 10 years, what is so amazing? What do you consider East England an amazing place for me to visit, and why? Why should I be attracted to that place?
It's just got a lot of culture. It's got a lot of history. In the First World War, in the Second World War, we had the shipyards, we had the mines. There's some beautiful country walks and lakes, and there's a Route 500, as we call it, sort of, which is 500 miles around these gorgeous mountains and stuff, which in like the autumn is just beautiful to look at. So we have, as little as we do have, we have bad weather, we have the wind. Everyone complains about English weather. As much as, you can go to Spain and have really great hot weather to tan in, like we provide just as much entertainment with the lakesides, with the countries, the villages, and then even like the cities themselves are just so notorious, like Newcastle and Gateshead and Sunderland and that. Like, plus the towns probably aren't great, but then if you get the right group of people and you have that mindset, it's such an incredible like atmosphere.
Okay. Well, I'm ready in East England, you know, the shipyards, the minefield. I really want to see all of that. So, viewers, you've now heard a million reasons why East England should be on your list of your next tourist journey who travels and all that. I definitely will see that place at least once in my lifetime. It's a promise, and I hope
Brilliant.
I hope I'll meet Jay Collins when I get to visit East England. All right. Okay. For the next round of questions, we're going to give credits to Jay Shetty. He actually came up with these questions to help, you know, go deeper in conversations with people, as opposed to the conventional questions of "Have you eaten?" Uh, you know, those kind of questions, the regular questions. So he said those questions don't, you know, they don't inspire conversation. They don't help you get to interact, engage people on a deeper, better level. So he came up with 9 questions to go deeper. But for us, we just take 3 or so out of those questions to, you know, also engage our guests more. So one of the first question on that list is, if your younger self were to meet you now, what would make him sad and what would make him happy about you?
If my younger self ever met me today, I think he'd be sad to see how sad I still am. You know, what I've got is great, what I'm doing is amazing, I'm really happy with it, but it's not fulfilling me like I want it to. There's still a lot more that I've got left to do and need to do to sort of get that self-fulfillment. And with everything I've been through, and I'm still doing the videos like I did back then, but I was a lot more carefree, and I still am, but I'm very self-aware now of the way the world works and how people treat each other, and I kind of wish I still had that naivety when I was younger, and so I think my younger self would be sad seeing how adulty I probably am, and sad that I still sort of am within myself. But happy-wise, I'm sure I'd be over the moon with all the video stuff I'm doing, being on this talk and this show with you, doing my projects and stuff, and being able to, you know, make money doing what I was doing for fun as a kid with my mates. So I think he'd be really happy about that.
Okay. Awesome. So we'll move on to the next question. What did you buy recently that you now regret?
There was a clothing brand that I did some work for and some photo shoots, and they did a sale, and I thought I'd buy some, you know, more clothes because I quite liked them, for like lounging around and editing and being a family. I bought the top and I bought some trackies, which I love and I still wear all the time to lounge around the house in. But there was some shoes which I liked the look of, but I was hesitant, and I bought them just to sort of finish off that outfit of top and joggers, and I hate them so much. They're uncomfortable, they don't really fit, and they're just a faff on to wear. I don't like them.
Okay, amazing. So on to the next question. Complete this sentence. If you really know me, you would know that.
If you really know me, you would know that I'm always trying my best for you, even if I mess up.
Wow. Amazing, brilliant. I like that response. You're trying, even right now on the show, you're doing your best, and we appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so what 2 words would you consider as the most inspiring? Any 2 words, not more than 2 words. So literally the question now, this is our own question. In 2 words, inspire us, just 2 words.
Be yourself.
Yourself. Awesome. Okay, so there you have it. It has been an awesome time with Jay Collins, and it's just as though the show should go on and on and on, but we have to wrap things up here. This is Success Limelight, and this is what we do. We'll beam the spotlight on people who are doing amazing things to make a difference in the world. We beam the spotlight on the success stories of individuals. We bring you exclusive backgrounds to the, what you see out there, exclusive insight to the journey of successful individuals to inspire others, to inspire you that if they could do it, if they can achieve, if they can get to where they are now, it is definitely possible for you to achieve same. And do connects. We appreciate all of our viewers. We thank you for the likes, the support. We thank you for all the contributions, the sponsors, and all. You can also be a part of this channel. If you have someone you would like to see being featured on this channel, do send us a mail at successlimelight@gmail.com. If you also want to be featured on this channel, you feel you have a compelling story, yeah, go right ahead. We can't wait to beam the spotlight on you. All we are just saying is step out of the shadows into the limelight. With Success Limelight, we say the spotlight is on you. So thank you very much, Jay Collins, for being on the show. Before the show, Jay Collins was actually trying out some dance steps. So perhaps we can close with that. Can you just give us some of those dance steps again? Let's.
Oh, my little girl, like me happy go.
All right. See you next time on the next episode. Please like and subscribe to this channel and watch out for our next videos. Cheers.